Good morning, everyone. Today is the 27th of November, 2018. I'm Roy Potter. Welcome to the Potter Expositor. Uh, like I said, I'm not going to do these on any kind of a scheduled basis. And again, I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. But I thought that I would go ahead with this one for a couple of reasons. I am out and about. I'm traveling, so I don't have my regular setup. I'll be out on the road for the next month or so. That's what I do this time of year. So that's another reason, like I said, that I probably won't be doing these things on a regular basis unless something really important comes up. Okay, well, you notice I entitled this Treating the Symptom, Not Attacking the Cause. And yes, I'm back on calling for President Trump to act. There's a lot at play here, and I realize that, but I see others calling for him to act, and I feel that I would be remiss if I did not continue to say the same thing. He must attack. In a situation that we have with all this going on, from the stuff in Ukraine, which was obviously a baited thing by the deep state and the New World Order, Pompeo and Haley make me mad. Nikki Haley. Supposedly these are great people, and they do this crazy-ass shit. Sorry, I am in a little bit of a bad mood this morning. I shouldn't be. By the way, my nose is healing up. You'll notice I have a little scab there. It's nothing major. Been treating it, but that was pretty bad. But at any rate, somebody I noticed, I was told, go look at this, Roy. Somebody's calling you a narcissist because you come on and you do these live streams and you get on YouTube. I don't want to make it look like, I take it to heart every time somebody accuses me of some stupid thing. But you know how stupid that was. Is a narcissist going to go on YouTube out in public and show off, these different types of appearance problems? A narcissist will never allow themselves to be seen in a bad light. So sometimes these people, make these attacks, and it's because they're ignorant, stupid, evil, whatever. Kind of like what they're doing to Ivanka Trump. I found a little fault with her for even going with her private email, but the issue isn't even that. I just said it was kind of dumb for her to do that, kind of stupid, because you knew they were going to draw up on her on that, because she's still using proper servers. She doesn't have a server that she's tucked in a basement somewhere with access and secret information and violating classified regulations, etc. But I see these dumb, stupid Americans that can't figure it out, and they're saying, well, if you're going to go after Clinton, you need to go after Ivanka, and it's an entirely different thing. Frankly, again, like I said, sometimes I don't know if America's worth saving. I really don't know. The principles are, but I don't know about the people. That's really how I've gotten lately. I love people, but, I can't stand stupidity, ignorance. Ignorance, is not just not knowing something. The real definition of ignorance is that you know what it is, but you ignore it. You ignore it for whatever reason. And that's what we have, and that was a good example of that. But at any rate, let me continue going here. It's really getting to the point where, Trump is calling out Mueller. What did he say in a tweet yesterday? I noticed Dan Bongino covered this quite a bit. I'm just going to read this particular tweet here. This is from President Trump. The fake news media builds Bob Mueller up as a saint, when in actuality he is the exact opposite. He is doing tremendous damage to our criminal justice system. Yeah, Mr. President, it's your criminal justice system. It's America's criminal justice system, and you're supposed to be administering it. This is dereliction of duty. It's really getting to that point. And I know I'm going to make people really angry for saying that, but as you see as I go on today, a lot of people are starting to say, what in the hell are you doing? He is doing tremendous damage to our criminal justice system, where he is only looking at one side and not the other. Heroes will come of this, and it won't be Mueller and his team of Democratic investigators. That's true. Trump could be, showing a lot of patience here. People say, "Oh, it's a plan." He's going about this. Well, his plan is going to be, if it's anything, he just wants them to show off how stupid they are. But I'm going to tell you something, okay? They're getting more and more power. Look at what's happening at the border. Look at Ukraine. Look at the attacks on people like Corsi. I'm not saying Corsi's a white knight, but at the same time, he's not guilty of what Mueller's trying to convince him of. As a matter of fact, nobody is guilty of what Mueller's trying to paint here. They get you in there and they calling on something that he said 2 years ago and saying, well, this is how I think that you meant it. So you lied to the FBI. This is out of control. You can't allow this to go. You can't treat the symptom without attacking the cause. And as it sits right now, all of these deep state traitors need to be arrested today. And I see a lot of people calling for that. David Seaman, some of you like him, some of you don't. He's very frustrated, and I can certainly understand. He's a little overboard on some things as far as the way he, gets out in public and does some things, but I can understand why. Nobody's listening to the Trump supporters. Nobody. Not even Trump. At least he's not showing that he is. Trump supporters and those who go for the American constitutional republic are being harassed, harangued, invaded, investigated, called up on false charges or manufactured charges using parallel construction without even evidence, circular evidencing. And Trump does nothing. I even heard Mike Cernovich talking about this the other day. He says he's done with Trump because Trump won't do what he said. Well, of course, what he's talking about is going after these evil people in our government. And I've said it before. Everything that Trump is doing is going to be for nothing if he doesn't take out the traitors and the evil people in our government. And I realize the difficulty of that, but there is no other way. He's got to find a way to do it. And he has the ability to do it. I'm not going to mention any names here. I'm jumping around a little bit, but as you can see, of course, just like David Seaman, I'm a little irritated this morning because I'm sick. I'm sick of the excuses. Why haven't we seen the documents from the FBI and the DOJ unclassified? Why hasn't that happened? I see all of these crazy things, and we're not going after, in a war, you have to go after command and control. Who is the command and control of the shadow government and all of that? Obama, Hillary, Soros, and I could go on down the list, Brennan, etc. We could do all of that. The fact, politically, they're accusing Trump now. If he goes after Clinton because we found out that Trump did tell Sessions, right, to start working on indicting Hillary, which Sessions refused to do, and everybody in the DOJ because they're all bought and paid for. And I understand that frustration by Trump, but there's another method. But my point there was going to be, if we don't go after these people, they're going to take everything down. Everything. You can't let them go on any longer. You just can't. So here's this thing with Mueller. And I still see people saying he's really working for President Trump. Otherwise intelligent, well-read people are still saying that. So we don't believe what President Trump says about Mueller. Even though Trump said he wouldn't lie to us, we're going to believe this. And this is all theater. It's all theater. Let me ask you a question, those of you who still think this. If this was theater, is Hillary Clinton? Is Obama? Is Valerie Jarrett? Is John Brennan? Is Comey? All of these people that have ability to get information, are all of these people involved in the theater as well? They're going along with it because they're all part of the theater? Is that what's happening here? Is that what you believe? Because if President Trump and Mueller are putting on a theatric dramatics play with Corsi and all these people being the players, who's the target audience? The American people? And what good is that? I've talked about the bell curve before. You've got people still not even engaged in trying to save the country. The majority of Americans are that way. We just had a lousy, midterm election. I know some people think it was great. You're going to try to convince. I mean, historically, the masses of people have never responded to either side or the other. They go which way the wind blows, even if it means their own destruction. Maybe that's why, Trump's just letting it go. If that's what the American people want, that's what they'll get. And that's the way we're going here. But you really think, if Mueller is doing this theatrics with Trump, you don't think that Hillary wouldn't know about it? You don't think and would call it out? Comey? Brennan? Clapper? Well, Clapper, I guess, is it's Hayden that's in the hospital. You get my point. So what is your objective, you people that are still saying that? What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to force out in the public's mind here? You don't make any sense. And all the people that have been in the political arena for years and are calling it for what it is, you know better? You know better? It's hopium or it's stupidity. I don't know which. But I do know that this putting the American people to sleep, causing all these troubles, and then people want to back off. President Trump, you must take action and you must do it quickly. I don't know what your game plan is, but you're losing. They're attacking you on our borders. They're attacking you in our own country. They're going after good American citizens. They're causing wars overseas. You've got the intelligence communities doing all this stuff. Embarrass Five Eyes. To hell with MI6. What sources and methods? The sources are evil. They're criminal. Reveal them. It's time. We can't keep treating the symptoms without attacking the cause. And that's why I came on today, because it's like I said, I don't even want to do this anymore, because I talk about the same thing over and over again with no results. It's ridiculous. And I said, until I see indictments and arrests of the right types of people, meaning Clinton, Obama might be a problem, but Jarrett, all the way down the line, Lynch, Comey, etc. What's the point of doing this anymore? So I was going to wait off, and really I am backing off until I start seeing some action, because the only thing that's going to work is if we all go back to crying, lock her up. And even then, I don't know if Trump's listening, or if his hands are tied, or if, it could be any number of things. But he's got resources he can use to do this, but he's going to have to think outside the box and take the risk. The time's running out here. Oh, I know better than Trump? Well, better people than me are calling for this, and have been. Admiral McRaven is opposed to Trump. He should be brought up on charges under the U.S. Code of Military Justice, and he is not, because he knows he has cover. And he wouldn't have done that if he didn't think he had a chance to win on the leftist Marxist side. And there are others like him. If you don't take down the command and control of this deep state shadow government, you're going to lose President Trump, and it's going to happen a lot quicker than you think. People are starting to lose not just their freedom, but they're going to lose their lives. This thing at the border can get out of control. You've done what I suggested back in 2011, putting the military there, and they keep saying, oh, they can't enforce civil law. Protecting our borders isn't enforcing civil law. I mean, it's one thing to go out there and grab people that are violating, getting inside and then processing them through the military system. That's one thing. It's another thing to say, halt, you can't come across that line there. You're an enemy invader. Totally different thing, and they keep conflicting and conflating these things. It's just frustrating as hell. It's just ridiculous. This is the closest, that Trump tweet that I just read you, that's the closest Trump ever gets. Where's the investigation? Where is the counter investigation? What's the reason? Oh, it'll be seen as politically incorrect, politically inexpedient. It's not politically expedient. I disagree 100%. There are assets that Trump has, and I've been talking about it for a long time, as some others. I'm not going to repeat them here, but he needs to do something. They're surrounding him internationally. Again, the Ukraine situation, the Middle East, Syria. When he fired those freaking missiles into Syria, I knew we were in trouble. So have a lot of other people. He's Nikki Haley. I mean, I like Pompeo in some ways. He might have been brilliant, may have been first in his class in West Point, but he's been schooled in the structure of the shadow government and the deep state. So I'm very leery of all of that. Where are the Trump supporters that really have ended up being damaged, have been hurt, have been attacked, have been basically censored off of the media, even YouTube and Twitter and things like that? Where is the protection fund? Why aren't some of them being brought into the White House and the administration? Are they being done secretly? Are we looking at Eric Prince behind the scenes? I don't see any action. Why hasn't the Delta Force been sent after Soros? Everything he does goes along with the terrorism statutes and regulations of the Justice Department. Everything, even the DOD. And yet he's untouchable? Is it because he's the devil incarnate? You know, there's a scripture that says you don't rail against the devil. You don't rail against Satan. And I understand that for a number of reasons. But that doesn't mean you don't fight him. And he's just got free reign. And I mean, you could say he's Satan, and then, you know, Hillary is his consort. You know, Obama is, the Pope. I mean, this is just out of control, and nobody does anything. It's too much. So I'll say it again, President Trump, it's time to attack the command and control of the deep state and the shadow government, but damn the consequences, because they're going to take us down anyway. Are you being smart by playing it safe? No, what people are starting to look at is that you're impotent. Sometimes on my YouTube feed I'll get some interesting things, and I'll admit that I have to click on them because I'm curious, and I won't mention the name, but one of them's about, relationships. And I could really say that this whole thing that's going on with Trump and the deep state is very similar, and the government is very similar to a bad relationship that needs to be terminated. He needs to terminate them. And I mean terminate them. Kind of a funny, thing there. Okay. So in that vein, call the White House. Be noisy. Like I'm being here. I don't know if this will be sent. I haven't called the White House yet. I'll probably do that today or tomorrow. Scream that these people must be collared, that this has got to end. This is not dramatics with Mueller and Trump, ladies and gentlemen. If Mueller was on Trump's team, Hillary, Obama, Comey, Brennan, they'd all know it and they'd be calling it out. Do you not see that? This is ridiculous. So you need to call Trump, and you need to get on social media. You need to call the White House. You need to write. You need to get out in public and say, go collar these criminals in the shadow government and the deep state. They're destroying not just our country, but the entire world. It's time. We have to do it. All right. I think that's really all I wanted to say today. Let me see if I've got anything else here. Isn't that funny? Sessions has really been shown to be what he is. He refused to do this. Trump did ask him to do the indictment on Hillary. I don't know what Whitaker's up to. I don't. Huber, that's a lost cause. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen on December 5th, but I don't. If you talk about show, theater, drama, that's going to be what Huber does. Remember, I worked with Huber. I know what Huber is. Okay, I know what he did in Utah to get where he is. And you know what it was? Nada. Nada. He's a yes man. Not a bad guy, but he'll do what he's told both by the Mormon church and by people like Sessions. Ridiculous. If anything else comes of that, I'll be very, very surprised. More drama and theater, I suppose. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I wanted to say. So just get out, get noisy, tell President Trump that you want action. You don't want to be talking about the symptoms anymore and complaining and whining about the symptoms. Do something about it. No, I don't want to see martial law. I don't want to see the military on the streets. No, I don't want to do that. But there are, they can back up his efforts to collar these people. He's got the ability to do it if he'll just do it. I'm going to bring it up again. Article 2, Section 2. Why hasn't that been put into play? My Republican insider, we were talking yesterday, and I told him, I said, I'm done. Trump's not acting. All he does is whine and moan and groan, and that's it. So all of these things are happening. The border, yeah, the military's there. It should never have gotten that far. There should have been interdiction. In 2011, I said that Mexico had an insurgency going on, and guess who was causing the insurgency? Not the Russians, like they're trying to pretend now. Maybe the Chinese, but you know who was doing it? Look at Fast and Furious. It was Holder. It was our own DOJ, our own DOD, our own ATF, etc. That's who caused the insurgency and the DEA. I'm getting all this drugs as what's going on there, but the drugs are just the tool to cause the insurgency, to fund the insurgency. We should have interdicted that a long time ago. Where are our military leaders that got some brains and guts? Mattis? Okay, yeah. Roy, you were just a lieutenant colonel and you weren't a good one at that. Yeah, I know. but there are reasons for that, which I'm going to cover here in a minute. People didn't like my lifestyle back a few years ago. The Army didn't cause me any trouble because of it, not openly. Assignment, difficulties, listening to the people that wanted me to be put down. Well, I'm not whining about it. I'm just telling you why. There are even people that are fairly closely related to me that still don't get it, even though they were there and they saw it. They still think that I've got millions of dollars in property and et cetera, stashed everywhere. It's really kind of funny actually. That's what people do when they're jealous and they've made the wrong decisions and they want to blame everybody but themselves. That's true narcissism there, true sociopathy. So I guess the next thing, of course, the Assange hearing is today, which shouldn't be going on. Theater, here we go again. Gee, I thought that Assange had been rescued a year ago and was in protection. Oh, all this is still theater, and Trump's in total control. He's just showing everybody the bad side. Well, it is true that, God said that, those things that are done in secret shall be revealed, and that's kind of happening. And maybe, I've asked on a number of occasions for God to intervene. Not that I would be able to curse anybody, but I've asked God to intervene and curse people if that was his will. And it certainly happened. It's time for Trump to act. Way past time, way past due. I mean, the promise of the release of the of the classified FBI and DOJ papers. I mean, that was promised. What's it going on now? 3 months ago? 2 months ago? 3 months ago? It's crazy. Okay. I've done some. I'm still, even right now as I sit here, I'm wondering if I should go here. And there's an old statement: if you have if you're not sure about what you should do, you probably shouldn't. That kind of a thing. I forget the actual scriptural explanation of a stupor of thought, something like that. If you have a stupor of thought, it's best to put it aside. But by the same token, let me explain a little thing here, and then I may play this. I'm not sure if I'm going to even now. But Monty of Monograph, October Rains, etc., he's really gotten tired of the false accusations and attacks upon him. And these are just opportunistic people that are making these attacks because they can't go after, the bad people in the government. They can't talk about Comey, and they can't talk about Lynch, and they can't talk about Clinton, and they can't, No, what they've got to do is they've got to cause infighting in YouTube amongst those who are doing the very best they can. And they want to call them deep staters, or in Monty's case, they want to accuse him of all this horrible pedophilia and all this stuff with absolutely no evidence. Liz Crokin, by the way, got kicked off Twitter for doing that. I'm not saying we can't talk about it, but there's something wrong when you attack people without evidence for clicks or for whatever. It's a sign either that you're sick or that you are actually the one that's being put out there to cause a problem by people in power. It's one of the two. You're either sick because you want attention, clicks, money, whatever, okay, or you are the deep state plant. It's one of the two. Either way, they've attacked Monograph relentlessly for years, and he's starting to file lawsuits. I can't blame him. I can't blame him at all. And during the discovery process, these people have been doing this for such a long time. During the discovery process, he's pretty much, other than his real name, which he finally came out with, he really has nothing to hide. But a lot of those people that have been coming at him are going to find out that he's going to find everything out about them, everything. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because there have been those false accusations, okay, against good people. I did an investigation of my own. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I've talked about it before. I had some responsibility on the periphery of the Frankman cover-up investigation. I also had some things done in California where I was investigating things there on two fronts. And I know this stuff exists. I know it does. But then they attack people that they can't prove are doing it. I'm talking about, people that do this for fun on YouTube and Twitter. Liz Crokin, for example, accusing people without any evidence. And they're usually the ones that take you off the real issue. The real pedophiles, the real bad people, you don't look at them, you go over and you're looking at these people like Liz Crokin points out, or those types of folks. And I don't have anything against Liz Crokin. I'm just saying that it's time we stop this nonsense. Real problems are going on, and we're going down the wrong road for a lot of reasons. Well, anyway, as most of you know, I had to go to chat here for a minute. As most of you know, I've been attacked pretty relentlessly myself. Okay? And I think most of you know that. And most of you know my background. If you don't, you're going to find out a little bit more about it here in a minute. But I have not been silent about this. And my relationships with women are none of your business. Okay? It's something I could brag about, the successes and the failures, because I have a different understanding of the male-female relationship than most Western Christianized, Puritanized, prudish people. No, there are going to be people attack. Oh, you don't follow Jesus Christ. You don't even know who he is. I get attacked about that all the time too. Oh, you don't know God. Really? Well, I know that you don't because you said that to me. That's not how you deal with it if you know God. That's not how you do it. But I'm bringing this up because there's been a lot of these attacks lately. And I'm not going to name the people that did it and that continue to do it. But I want to make it absolutely 100% clear that my relationships with women are none of your business. And I have never and never will have a relationship, a sexual relationship, or any other inappropriate relationship with anyone under 18 years of age. I'm not attracted to males at all. Period. I am definitely a guy that likes women. Real women. Girly women. Okay? And my history proves that. There may have been some problems in my relationships with some of those women because of the great amount of pressure I thought they could stand against the world and against worldwide churches like the Mormons, etc., governments, things like that. I thought they were up to a lot more than they were, and that was a mistake on my part to put them through that. But women came to me. I didn't necessarily have to go to them. I'm not saying I haven't approached some. I sure have. But almost all the women that have had anything to do with me actually came to me. It's a woman's choice, and that's the way it was. And that's the way it is today. As this thing will explain, I'm looking, but I'm really picky now. I'm really picky. So I know what I like, I know what I need, and I know what my capabilities are. I know what I can offer and what I can't. So there has to be more to this process now than before. But these people that accuse me of being a misogynist or being abusive to women, absolutely 100% incorrect. During divorce situations, some things are said, they're not provable. You just say, we've reached the point where we can't agree on anything. Well, all right, whatever. But there has never, ever, ever been any type of pedophilia in my being from top to bottom at all. Matter of fact, as I've said in this thing, the only person under 25 years of age I've had a relationship with was my first wife, who we were both 18 when we married. And there were reasons why we got married at 18, not because we had to, because, I got her pregnant. No. I've always been the one to put on women the responsibility to maintain the proper deportment. Okay? They don't have to tell me. In all of my relationships, I've told them. As a matter of fact, when I finally married my Carol, who I've talked about before, and she died in 2008, she said to me, she says, you're kind of strange, I love you to pieces, but, I really respect the fact that you didn't expect sex before we got married. Well, I have a different concept of what marriage is and when sex can happen than most people, because I don't have the prudish ideas of Romanized Christianity that was done to destroy the true Messianic movement. Most of you won't even know what I'm talking about there. But regardless, I'm kind of rambling on here. Am I being defensive? I think I'm more explaining the situation. Westernized concepts of the male-female relationship and marriage are being destroyed by, the entire male-female relationship is being destroyed, but particularly the globalists, the transhumanists are attacking the traditional Western values because they're built on a sandy foundation. Honest to God, that's what it is. If they were built on the proper foundation, they wouldn't be having as much success as they are right now. Most Christians won't have the foggiest idea of what I'm talking about, and I'm really not inclined to detail it any further than that. So let me go ahead and play this. Am I triggered? Okay. somebody, 6 Designs, however you say it, says, looks defensive, surely. So why even mention what the trolls are saying? Because it's not just the trolls. I've been dealing with this for 30-something odd years. It's not just trolls. It's people in the government. It's people who want to silence you on anything that they possibly can. And people have said that I've tried to hide my background, and I have not. So this isn't just addressing the trolls. This is letting you know where I stand and why. Okay? You don't have to believe anything I believe, and I just assume you don't believe anything I believe as far as spirituality, religion, and all that's concerned. But at the same time, I don't mind letting you know where it is. So, am I inclined to those things I did back in the 80s, etc.? No. No, I did my duty, and that's really what it was. A lot of people won't explain it. Oh, I enjoyed the companionship, the relationships by and large, sure. But I also learned a lot from it, too. So I'll go ahead and play this, and I appreciate that, Karen Wilson. It's their problem, Roy. No reason to explain. I realize that, but I heard Mike Cernovich. I really like Mike. I know a lot of you get irritated with him because he is very self-confident, and it comes across as being something a little more like conceited. But he's just very sure of himself, and I appreciate that in Mike. And he speaks his mind, whether or not people like it or not. But he said something the other day that is kind of where I am. And I've said it before. I don't need followers. As you notice, I don't monetize my channel. I don't need your money. I don't tell you what I do because I'm trying to get clicks and money. That's not what I've been about. It just isn't. What is monetized on my channel are things like when Pam Jones made my intros, and she used copyrighted material that's okay to use because she did it the right way. But when they play certain types of music or certain types of clips or artistic stuff that isn't hers directly, she just put it together, then the copyrighted material is there, and the people that created that have a right to get paid from it, even when my channel's not monetized, but their particular work is. So you'll see those pop up. Nothing that you see on my channel is from me requesting monetization for payment to me. I give what I give freely. If you don't like it, what are you doing here? I didn't ask you to come. I didn't force you to stay. Some people that are really keen on what YouTube's all about and all that will say, well, these people attack you because they're trying to steal your followers. If you're that stupid to go to somebody who's putting out false information, especially when you look at them and hear them and how they talk and their brains are dead, and they're I don't want to point out any geographical locations that they could be from, but the point is, if you want that, please go, please. So let me play this. And some of you who are new to me, I don't know if there are many of you out there. This may shock you. You may be upset about it. I don't care. Do you understand? I could cut back. I could stop doing this today, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings because I'm not seeing the rhetoric matched on the ground. I keep seeing a theater. I keep seeing a theater at the executive level, the presidential level. I keep seeing a theater, and it disturbs me. But I know it's not for the reasons that people out there are trying to say it is, that President Trump and Mueller are fooling everybody. Either Hillary's in on the theatrics and the dramatics, and so is Obama, and so is Comey, etc. There's no way they would not know. There was no way that they would not know that if Mueller and Trump were working together to uncover their crimes, there is no way they would not know that and wouldn't be screaming bloody murder about it. So I'm sick and tired of it. People can say that all they want, but you really got to ask why they're going down that road. Again, is it hopium? Is it because they want clicks? Is they want your money? They want to put you out on a precipice, make you walk out on a plank, and then saw it off and let you fall after they get everything from you. I'm not there. I give what I know freely. Am I always right? No. But I'm not trying to steal from you either. I'm not trying to steal your heart. I'm not trying to steal your mind. I'm not trying to steal your money. I promised God I was going to speak my mind. I go ahead and do it. I won't be silent. But I am controversial. And I'll tell you this. All of Trump's sexual liaisons, whatever they were, God has no trouble with them. None. Okay, I'll play this for you. A lot of you are going to kick and scream. Again, I don't really care. But I am angry at people that are falsely accusing me. I doubt that there are a couple of people I thought about suing, but you know what? The laborer is worthy of his hire. They'll get what they deserve. That's the way I look at it. There's another scripture, and it says, talking about people like David Seaman begging Trump to do something, and all of these other people like Greg Jarrett, Sean Hannity, Lieutenant Colonel Schaefer, Lou Dobbs, etc., on down the line. A lot of people are begging Trump to go after these people. There's a scripture, and it says, and the saints will cry day and night for deliverance. If the people don't stand up and demand deliverance, they're not going to get it. Be loud, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go. All right. So I think that's at least the third time, probably more than that I've actually covered that information. And I'm just telling people, okay? You bear false witness, you get out there and you lie, you make up stories, you use circular evidentiary procedures like the FBI did on this Russiagate thing. In other words, you go out there and you plant a seed with somebody who then talks about it, and then you quote them as your reason for being able to talk about it and to make the accusation yourself. You're evil. You're absolutely 100% evil. And you will be revealed. You absolutely will be. Okay? So, no, I won't belabor the point. But I just wanted to make sure that I got that out there. By the way, I will probably, that particular little clip there, I actually have it ready to load up on YouTube. It's on a private unlisted position right now because I wanted to put it out in this particular live stream first. And then after this has been up for a while, then I'll load that up so you can just watch that again if you want. And those of you who are involved in gossip or who are aghast and oh my God, look at this guy, you can have fun with that and spread it around, okay? So, or you can use it as a thing to study because there's some jewels in there that if you study it, you'll learn some things. Do I know it all? No. But I've spent 40 some odd years, studying Scripture in the original languages, and also all the things that were contributed to make that happen. For instance, I don't know if any of you know, do you know the difference between the Elohists and the Yahwists? And how that affects 1st and 2nd Genesis? Do you know about the Gospel of Q? And no, I don't mean the Q, that everybody likes to cite as being, the great intelligence insider. Okay. If you don't know those things, you really have no business commenting on anything that I've said in a negative way. If you don't know about what Josephus did and what the Romans did to alter the development of Christianity into what it has become today so that they could conquer it, if you don't understand that, if you don't know that Josephus, the historian, called Vespasian, the emperor of Rome, the Messiah, the Jewish Messiah, you don't know much. And you don't really know how you've been played for many millennia. Okay. And a lot of people start quoting other things here. I don't know what you're quoting. Most of those scriptures are, if they're contrary to what I've said to you today, they were altered by Roman influence. They were altered by the Roman Empire or created by the Roman Empire. For instance, the Gospel of Mark wasn't even written until about 60 AD. Yes, it has been altered. And all you have to do to prove that is, and this is why, and they didn't know this, but Jesus said that not a jot nor tittle of the law shall pass away until all is fulfilled. He was talking about the Torah. And anything that's contrary to Torah, even if Jesus is claimed to have said it, if people claim that Jesus said it, if it's contrary to Torah, it's a lie, it's false. Okay? That's why the Jews don't believe in the Jesus the Christians believe in, because the real Messiah, be it the Messiah ben Joseph or the Messiah ben David, would not have said those things and done those things. Not everything in the New Testament's wrong, of course not. I'm not saying that, but key elements were changed. One being the situation about marriage and about promulgating your seed. Okay, I'm done. I'm not going to answer questions. Okay, I'm really not for that today. I'm really not up to it. Again, I'm not doing this on any regular basis. Have no desire to until. And I'm not saying again that if something doesn't come up, I won't just mention it. But I really don't see much point even in that. Until Trump indicts, collars, charges, should be indicts, charges, collars, and tries the criminals in the government, goes after the command and control of the deep state and the shadow government, he's pissing in the wind. And he's getting all of us wet with that piss, and it's doing nothing. I hope the day comes, I pray that the day comes that I can apologize to him for accusing him of malfeasance, of dereliction of duty, and of allowing his supporters to be maimed and murdered by his enemies. Drawn and quartered and like Jesus, marched through the streets with carrying their cross, being spat upon and called by names. He is allowing that. It's time to act, President Trump. Attack the command and control of the shadow government and the deep state by whatever means necessary. You have those tools. You just got to use them. You're afraid that it's going to break down the government. You're afraid it's going to, really cause everything to go into turmoil. Look at the alternative. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. I'm done. No, I don't know when I'll be up again. I do want to thank you for coming. Shock value. Yeah, I suppose. Maybe a little bit. But there's a time and a place to speak plainly, and that time is probably far past. And there have been a lot of us been calling for these things for a long time. More of us have to do it. Or we just have to sit back and just let it take its course and let everything just get destroyed and get chipped and have the panopticon put up and all of that and see everything that we've dreamed and worked for as far as liberty, the perfect law of liberty and all that for the past how many thousands of years just thrown away because of our stupidity. Let the enemies run our lives. Fine. The Spirit of God will not always strive with men. It comes a point where it just gives up. It says, okay, go to your destruction because that's what you want. So that's where I am. Okay? So, again, until I see some indictments, some charges, some arrests, some actions against these deep staters like Mueller, who have killed and been responsible for the murder of not just thousands, but millions of people in the case of Obama, Hillary, Bush's, etc. Until I see some action on this, I'm probably not going to say much more. God bless you. God bless the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America. God bless the Second American Revolution. Keep your eyes on the horizon, your ears to the ground. Keep your situational awareness on high, prep, pray, and stay out of the way. By the way, a lot of people are saying, you said that people shouldn't go to the border. I'm not saying you can't go to the border. I'm saying stay out of the way. Don't interfere with what the military is doing. If you want to be eyes and ears, that's fine. But you go out there and you start grabbing these invaders coming across the border, and you're going to be wishing you hadn't done that. I'm not saying it wouldn't be the right thing to do, but Not just the political climate's not right for it, but what are you going to do? What are you going to set up? Holding facilities? Field operations, field expedients, stockades. You going to do that? When I was down on the border and I was merely taking pictures, I was documenting what was happening to the Border Patrol back in 2011. I got stopped by a forest ranger, and his excuse for pulling me over was because I had tinted windows. I was in an SUV. SUV windows are tinted. My drivers, the passenger or the front seats, those windows weren't tinted, neither the windshield, but the back, which is common. He used that as his probable cause to pull me over. These people don't know what they're doing sometimes. I'm not saying the Border Patrol doesn't know what they're doing, but if they're going to do that to me, and I was down there filming, I'd gotten to know some of the Border Patrol people, and we were talking about, I had gone out and saw them doing some tactical responses to coyotes and stuff, the guys, the people that are trafficking people up in the mountains and trying to envelop them, trying to circle them, stuff like that. And yet I was still harassed by a U.S. forest ranger. You go down there and you interfere, and you're going to get in trouble. I wasn't even interfering. I was just documenting. I was taking pictures, doing interviews, showing what the border looked like down there. I mean, I could have reached out and touched the border fence. I've already put up some pictures about that, of me being there, where there was a border fence. In a lot of places there aren't. Probably hundreds of miles, I would guess, along the southern border that really aren't protected. But at any rate, so you go down there and you get in the way, and I know some people that are down there doing some things. I just hope that they're, they see and report. That's about as much as I would get involved in at this point. I mean, maybe we should invade Mexico. The United States invade Mexico. They got an insurgency they can't control, and this is just part of the proof. And this invasion is really, Mexico's acting like they're worried about it, but really they want this. Okay. God bless Donald Trump and all of his righteous endeavors. May the Spirit of the Lord send him the spirit of discernment that will descend upon him as the dews from heaven, that he will know the right from the wrong and have the courage to do the right thing soon. Till next time, even though I don't know when that'll be. Out here.